speak for our parents and our kids. Washington Irving is rare among public schools in that it embraces an inordinately large and fragile population of kids who might not have any place else to go. Special ed kids, kids who don't speak English, kids from troubled homes or foster homes, who may not have a parent advocate.
Hold the microphone.
Kids from underserved minorities, kids who may even be homeless and caring for younger siblings. Here, these students, termed high needs, are supported by top administrators and experienced teachers who have chosen to come here and work with them. My son just jumped 4 grade levels in reading proficiency. Historically, there have always been, and always probably will be, regretfully, groups of kids who don't normally do well. Washington Irving welcomes them and gets them on a better path. If this school closes, where will the high needs freshmen of September 2012 go? In my opinion, previous studies show traditionally that the new schools, which replace older and larger high schools with special programs, accept very few high needs students. The leftover high needs kids who now have no school and are placed in other older, larger high schools with special programs. Time marches on and suddenly, one day, these other older, larger high schools are overcrowded, get bad grades, and go on the chopping block like us. A useless
That's it. That's the design.
This is Einstein's definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over.
That's right. You got it.
Mr. Sorensky, you seem to be a guy who's reasonable, you seem to be a guy of enlightenment and tolerant like us, like me. My parents, both teachers, fought discrimination in every report where parents fought apartheid in South Africa. My home was education-centered. Ideas shimmered in the air like dragonflies. Your home must have been the same. I imagine there are many things on which we would agree. You said, wonderfully, in a 2009 interview with Gotham Schools, my job is not to intervene at an individual school level and suggest a change, but to provide rich database portraits and qualitative portraits using a quality review so that the folks that are supporting schools can help the school go to its next step. So, here are my suggestions for our next step. Leave Washington open with its present staff. Excellent teachers are already in place. Grant Washington Irving a further time to transform. Delay the vote for closing. Even a wealthy corporation can't turn around in 3 months. Don't let us off the leaves. Give us back our funding. Change is impossible.
Oh!
Change is impossible without money, and everyone knows when money talks, nobody walks. Roosevelt said, the school is the last expenditure upon which America should be willing to economize.
Right.
He also said, when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. Install new software engineering and vocational programs into our existing schools. To encourage and teach my son, as well as his friends and all of our students. They're not dummies. Last and most important, don't judge Washington Irving by statistics. They're lethal and they can be inaccurate and skewed. Instead, look at the rich database portraits of the human beings that fill our school. Respect and honor them. In 1975, school teacher Marva Collins taught learning disabled and retarded children in Chicago who went on to graduate from Harvard, Yale, and Stanford because she believed there is a brilliant child locked inside every student. And that's what we believe. Be sensitive to the nuance of the possible. Don't stop us. We deserve better. Woody Allen said 80% of success is showing up, so thanks to all of you for doing just that. Mr. Zaretsky, here's my question. You said that you tried to help us and then we failed anyway. What exactly and specifically did you do to help us?
Here it comes.
So, over the past, I want to just speak to this question of 3 months, because over the past 3 years and a half, there's been an effort, as many of you know, underway in this campus to try and improve it. And that effort has included a lot of work by the staff in the building, as well as folks from outside the building. We've spent over $1.5 million during that period of time working on curriculum and staff development, after-school programming, building community partnerships, and trying to create successful communities within the school. And I think that, you know, as some folks mentioned earlier, there were worse safety problems here 3 years ago than there are today. That the tone in the building has actually improved during that period of time. And I think that there were worse graduation rates 3 years ago than there are today. There has been some improvement. The question that we're struggling with tonight, I think that it's a very fair thing to say that you believe that we should continue and do more of these efforts. But the question we're struggling with is there time if we do another 3 years of this and we end up in the same place as we have after this last 3 years for the kids who go through that process? Because we're losing hundreds and hundreds of kids in this process. And the federal grant that we referenced, just so everyone is clear on that, the state has stopped those grants for every single school in the city because of the disagreement that exists between the union and the city over teacher evaluation. So at this point, no school is able to get that grant for transformation like Washington Irving is doing. And so until that were to be resolved, the only way for schools to get grants is through either a phase out or for turnaround, which turnaround means replacing up to half of the staff in the school and closing it and reopening it as a new school. So those are the two options to get the federal money at this point that are available to us. And we actually believe, based on the experience at Seward, at MLK, at Park West, at Morris High School, at Evander, at hundreds of different schools around the city, that we can work with this community, and hopefully some of the talented teachers will choose to be part of that process to build something strong that will serve high-needs kids as those schools are successfully doing. And I think we disagree about the way to do that, and I think it's a fair disagreement, but I think we deeply disagree based on what we've seen happen over and over again elsewhere in the city.